Warning, this isn't your mom's bedtime story. The following content contains graphic gore, foul language, shocking scares, and enough big hair to make the glam rock band jealous. Once you press play on this tale, there's no stopping. Proceed at your own peril.
Hey there, kids. You know who it is. That's right. Your good old Uncle Henley Hackenslash has clawed his way back out from underneath your bed to tell y'all another nighty-night story. Now, I don't know about you, but it's getting a little stuffy here in this little bedroom of y'all's. The air is all suffocating. Not that I've got anything against a good bout of suffocation, you hear. It's just not bloody enough for my liking. Now, if you want some real fun, what you need to do is get yourself out and about in the great outdoors. Out there, you never know what or who you're gonna find. So how's about you let your Uncle Henley take you for a little walkie now? And on the way, I might just tell you a bear of a tale. One that I like to call Claws. When Chloe had invited her to the lake cabin for drinks after the game, Scarlett had thought she'd been forgiven for that whole situation with Brad. Now, she was beginning to get a bad feeling. Sure, everyone was drinking and having a good time, but something felt off. Val had told her not to go. Val always told her not to go. She just didn't understand. Being a cheerleader was everything to Scarlett. As head cheerleader, Chloe could kick her off the squad, and she was so grateful that she hadn't.
Another beer?
Chloe pressed a red plastic cup into her hands. Obediently, Scarlett sipped the cheap alcohol.
You know,
Chloe continued, raising her voice.
I think it's time for a moonlight swim.
Cheers filled the cabin.
I didn't bring my swimsuit.
Scarlett whispered to her.
You won't need it.
Chloe declared. She took Scarlett's hand, and then they were outside, heading into the woods, weaving between the trees in the dark. Brad and his football buddies were laughing and chasing each other through the brush up ahead. Bonnie and Janet were whispering to each other behind them, but Chloe held her hand, and Scarlett felt so happy that they were friends again. Something hooked her foot, and suddenly she was on her hands and knees in the dirt. Looking up, she saw she was in a clearing. The full moon lit up the area, illuminating her friends standing before her in a semicircle.
What is happening?
She said. Bonnie and Janet looked at each other and giggled.
You tried to steal my boyfriend, you heinous skank.
Any trace of friendliness was gone from Chloe's face.
I didn't. He kissed me.
Scarlett tried to stand, and one of the football jocks pushed her back down.
Liar. You must be punished.
No! Wait! Wait!
Jock grabbed one of her arms, and Brad grabbed the other. They hoisted her up between them and dragged her forward.
Chloe! Please!
Fear coursed through her, and her heart began to race. Chloe stood with her arms crossed, while Brad pushed her against a tree and held her there. Two of his friends wrapped a rope around her in the tree, pulling it tight and knotting it repeatedly.
Please, Chloe, don't do this!
She tried again. Chloe remained impassive. Bonnie and Janet wouldn't stop giggling. Scarlet pulled at the rope, and it dug into her skin.
Let me go!
Her cheerleading outfit didn't provide much protection from the rope's coarse fiber. Brad walked over and slung his arm around Chloe, smirking at her as he did. Scarlet looked at the pair, at Brad's three friends, at Bonnie and Janet still laughing, and fury surged through her.
You're gonna regret this!
Yeah, right. Let's dip.
Brad said. He led Chloe back into the trees, the others following. Within moments, Scarlet was alone. She pulled at the rope until her skin burned. The bark of the tree scratched her exposed legs and lower back. A warm dampness trickled down her arm, and she realized the rope had made her bleed. A deep roar split the night, shocking Scarlet into silence. She held her breath and listened, staring hard into the dark. Heavy panting came from off to her left. Something moved in the shadows. Something big. A huge, shaggy head appeared as the bear stepped into the clearing. Ropes of frothy saliva dripped from its long yellow teeth. It sniffed the air and swung its head towards her. Rising up onto its hind legs, the bear roared again. Scarlet screamed.
Val, get up.
Go away.
Val groaned and pulled the blanket over her head.
Val!
Somebody banged on the door.
What?
Val yelled back. She pushed the tangled green hair out of her face and sat up.
Phone for you.
Message delivered. She could hear her younger brother stomping back down the hallway. Her clock read 8:03 a.m. Who would be calling this early on a Saturday morning? She grabbed her dead Kennedy shirt and pulled it on, opened her door, and made her way to the kitchen. The phone receiver lay on the kitchen bench. She picked it up, automatically twisted her fingers into the spiral phone cord.
Hello?
Val, it's Cynthia. Is my daughter there?
Mrs. Driver? No. Scout's not here.
Do you know where she is? She never came home last night.
A sick feeling rolled through Val's stomach. She had warned her.
No, I don't. Sorry, Mrs. Driver. The last time I saw her, she was with the cheer squad.
I was afraid of that. If you see her, can you get her to call me?
Sure thing. Bye, Mrs. Driver.
Val hung up the receiver and untwisted her fingers from the cord. What had Scarlet gotten herself into? Whatever it was, she was willing to bet it was Chloe's idea. Val was done with that pitchy poser and her airhead followers. She wasn't going to get away with any more of her crap if Val had anything to do with it. Dressed in her studded leather jacket and army boots, with a green mohawk spiked up, Val looked as scary as she possibly could. She'd even taken a minute to layer on some more eyeliner to the day's worth already coating her eyes. She set her features into a scowl and knocked on the door. Chloe opened the door, then tried to slam it shut when she saw who it was. Val jammed her boot into the doorway and grabbed Chloe by the front of the blouse.
Ah! Mrs. Silk, you freak. Let me go.
Chloe shrieked. Val hauled her forward and gave her a shake.
Where is Scarlet?
She demanded.
How would I know? Stop!
Chloe cut off as Val shook her again.
Okay, fine. I'll tell you.
She said.
No, you won't. You're going to take me to her.
Val said.
Whatever. Just let me go.
Val did, and she tried to slam the door again, but Val's boot was still in the way. She raised her eyebrow at Chloe and the girl sighed. She stepped outside and closed the door.
You want me to ride in that? As if.
Chloe said when she got a look at Val's old orange Ford Pinto.
Just get in.
Val sighed. She hoped it wouldn't be a long drive. Picking her way through the underbrush, Val was glad she wore her boots. Chloe was having more difficulty in her expensive, strappy sandals and was trying so hard to pretend that she wasn't.
It's just up here.
Chloe said.
What? She's gone?
Val stepped around Chloe and into the clearing. Blood was everywhere. A large pool of it surrounded the base of the tree in the middle of the clearing, and the ground around the tree was torn up. Val moved closer and saw a rope lying half hidden amongst the dead leaves. She picked it up and found one end was a frayed mess, as if it had been chewed through. Tufts of rough brown hair were caught in the rope's fibers.
What did you do?
Val yelled, shaking the rope at Chloe.
Nothing. Nothing. It was just a prank. We didn't mean it. You tied Specul8 up and left her out here as a joke?
Val felt like her head was going to explode. This was way worse than she had feared.
It was just a joke. I don't understand.
Chloe had started to cry.
Oh no. No you don't. You don't get to cry your way out of this.
Val grabbed Chloe's arm and shook the rope at her again.
We're taking this and we're going to the cops. You are going to tell them what you've done.
Chloe started to sob. Val didn't care. She kept a grip on the girl's arm and dragged her back towards the car. The police station was empty, except for one harried-looking officer with a phone in one hand and another pressed to her ear. Deeper in the building, another phone was ringing. The officer held up a finger to Val and Chloe, standing at the front desk. She made a few noises and scribbled something in a notepad. She hung up one phone and swapped to the other. Several and some more scribbled notes later, she hung up and focused on the girls.
Sorry, it's been a crazy day. There's a rabid bear on the loose and all our officers are out chasing it. It's already mauled 2 people. Just hang on.
The officer cut off as the phone rang again. Val's mouth fell open while she answered it and turned her back on them. Chloe huffed, leaned over the desk and pushed down the button on the phone cradle, disconnecting the call.
Excuse me, Officer Miller?
Chloe said, staring pointedly at the cop's badge.
Our friend is missing, and we would appreciate your help.
And you are?
Officer Miller snapped, still holding the dead phone.
Chloe Worthington.
Val watched recognition dawn on the cop's face as she realized she was dealing with a mayor's kid.
Oh, how can I help?
Officer Miller said, her tone considerably nicer. Chloe explained what had happened, and it even sounded like she was mostly telling the truth. It began to occur to Val that she was genuinely worried about Specul8. Officer Miller listened, employing her note-taking routine. When Chloe finished, she tapped a pen thoughtfully on her teeth.
I'm not supposed to leave the station unattended, but I can put a call out to our officers to get them to keep an eye out for your friend.
Officer Miller said. Chloe protested, and the two started to bicker, while Val puzzled over something the officer had said earlier. She ran the rope through her fingers and touched the brown hair. Specul8 was blonde. Wait, hair? No, fur.
Who did the bear maul?
She interrupted. Officer Miller hedged. Chloe put her hands on her hips and stared.
Look, I'm not supposed to say, but it was Chet Riley's boys.
Tad and Teddy?
Chloe gasped.
They were there last night.
Staring at the neon yellow monstrosities on Bonnie's legs, Val couldn't help but wonder what horrible thing she had done to deserve this punishment. Chloe had insisted on collecting up her cronies and bringing them to her house to plot their next nefarious move, and somehow Val had been roped into acting as chauffeur? Janet hadn't been home, but unfortunately, Brad was. He had insisted on picking up his buddy Freddie, and now Val was never going to get the smell of football bozo out of her poor Pinto. Chloe was currently trying to explain what was happening to Bonnie, but Bonnie had noticed Val's stare.
What are you looking at, freak?
Bonnie called from the sidewalk.
What the fuck are you wearing?
Val called out the Pinto's window.
My leg warmers? It's called fashion, loser.
Bonnie turned back to Chloe.
You can't really expect me to give him that. With her.
A hurried whisper conversation ensued, which resulted in Bonnie sulkily getting into the back seat with the boys. Chloe climbed back into the front with a heavy sigh. She opened Val's glove box and rifled through the cassettes inside. Picking one, she shoved it into the tape deck, and the Ramones' I Wanna Be Sedated started up. Val stared at her in shock. Chloe Worthington, the mayor's little princess, only smirked. The sun had only just started to set, but Val was more than done with this day. Scarlett was still missing. Mrs. Driver was bordering on hysterical. Officer Miller had nothing useful to contribute, and somehow she was stuck in the mayor's house with the most vapid teens in town. The mayor and his wife weren't even home. They were out of town for the weekend. Brad had managed to pick the lock on the liquor cabinet and was busily trying to get everyone drunk. Val had declined all offers of alcohol, but she stayed just in case someone let something slip in their drunkenness that might help her find her best friend. It was infuriating. These morons had taken Scarlett into the woods, and now she was gone. And all that blood! Scarlett's mauled body could be lying in a ditch somewhere, and there was nothing she could do. A scream filled the air, and everyone froze. Val looked at Chloe, then they were both running outside. Janet was kneeling in the front yard, clutching her stomach. Chloe ran right up to her, but Val stopped when she saw the blood. Janet's face and chest were covered in it, and there was something crooked about her jaw.
Janet! Oh my god. Ooh, what's happened?
Chloe cried. Janet opened her mouth and her jaw flopped uselessly to one side. A horrible gurgle bubbled out. Chloe tried to push Janet's jaw back into place and blood spilled over her head. Janet slumped forward and her head fell away. Her intestines slid out of the wound in her abdomen, piling onto Chloe's feet. Chloe screamed and jumped back, letting Janet's body fall to the ground.
The bear!
Val gasped. She looked around and couldn't see it, but that didn't mean it wasn't there.
Chloe, the bear!
She yelled. She grabbed the other girl's arm and dragged her back towards the house. The boys were standing just outside the front door, so she yelled at them too.
Get inside!
She shoved them all into the house and slammed the door, locking it for good measure.
What was that? On?
Val ignored the panicked voices and tried to think. Why would a bear be attacking teenagers specifically?
You know what? I'm going to get a beer. Brad, you want one? Ladies?
Oh, for fuck's sake.
If the bear attacked Scarlett, where was her body? Janet was still in the front yard. The other two, Tad and Teddy, had also been found mauled. So where was Scarlett?
What are you doing?
The yell came from deeper inside the house. Val looked around and saw that Freddie was missing. Chloe and Bonnie were locked in some sort of catatonic, blood-covered hug. She looked at Brad, hated her life, and said,
Come on.
The two raced down the hallway and skidded to a stop in the kitchen. Freddie lay on the floor, clutching his throat, blood gushing from between his hands. Above him loomed a nightmare. Dressed in a red and white cheerleader uniform, complete with long blonde pigtails, stood Scarlett, but not the Scarlett that Val knew. Livid red claw marks tore across her chest, stomach, and right leg, leaving her covered in dry blood. Her left head was gone, replaced by a huge brown bear paw, complete with 5 jagged yellow claws. The paw was tied onto Scarlet's wrist up with a frayed length of rope, the same rope she had been tied up with.
Scarlet?
Val whispered. Her friend stared at her. It was like looking at a stranger. Scarlet's left eye was opaque white between the bloody gouges. Blood dripped from Scarlet's new claws. Beside Val, Brad made a strange moaning sound. She watched as Scarlet stepped carelessly over Freddy's twitching body, walked straight past Val, and sank her claws into Brad's stomach. His mouth gaped open and he clutched at the bear paw, now inching its way up towards his sternum. Scarlet took another step closer and shoved her arm elbow deep into Brad's chest. She ripped it back out with his still beating heart impaled on her claws. Brad's body collapsed, but Val couldn't tear her eyes away from the sight of Scarlet's even white teeth sinking into his heart. The organ squelched as he ripped a chunk out and swallowed. Scarlet finally met Val's eyes, and a slow smile spread across her blood-smeared face. Somehow, it was the worst thing Val had seen so far. It jolted her out of the shock, making her back up until she hit the wall. Scarlet lost interest and started down the hallway towards Chloe and Bunny.
Chloe, run!
Val screamed, forcing herself to follow her mutilated best friend into the lounge room. Chloe had taken one look at Scarlet and was trying to pull Bunny towards the front door. Bunny took a moment to work out what was happening until she saw Scarlet stalking towards her. Her eyes bugged out, and she screamed, an ear-splitting noise that went on and on. It only stopped when Scarlet shoved her bloody claws into Bunny's mouth and up into her brain. Val's common sense finally caught up with her, and her adrenaline spiked. She lunged across the room, past Scarlet, trying to shake Bunny off her claws, grabbed Chloe, and threw them both out the front door. She had Chloe's hand, and they were running, and if they could just make it into the woods... A horrible, broken scream split the air, and Val knew that Scarlet was chasing them. She was hunting down the ones that had hurt her, and she wasn't going to stop. How had it come to this? Chloe gasped, and a hand tugged out of Val's. Val stopped and turned. Chloe had tripped and fallen face first onto the ground. She cried out and curled into a ball, clutching at her ankle.
Chloe, get up!
Val grabbed her arm and pulled, but Chloe collapsed back down.
My ankle.
She sobbed.
Please, Chloe, you have to!
Heavy footfalls pounded through the woods, and then Scarlet was there. Blood dripped from her pigtails, and her chest heaved, but her face was blank.
Scarlet?
Val said. She stepped forward, putting herself between her best friend and the girl who had tortured her.
Scarlet, this isn't you. You have to stop.
Scarlet stared at her, and slowly emotion began to creep across her face. A tear welled from her one good eye and ran down her cheek. Her lips trembled. She opened her mouth to speak, and a trickle of blood escaped her mouth. Her tongue was gone, ripped completely out of her mouth. Val felt tears in her own eyes. Her best friend in the whole world was so hurt. Her beautiful face was ruined, and Val would never again hear her voice telling her about all the things that had happened to her in the day. Her best friend. Val reached out and wiped a tear from Scarlet's cheek. Scarlet's eyes were full of pain and anger. So much anger. Behind her, Chloe whimpered. Chloe was also in pain, but not nearly enough. Val stepped aside. A beautiful smile lit up Scarlet's ruined face. From the ground, Chloe started to scream. Well now, I do love me a tale of genuine friendship, and there ain't no friend truer than one willing to step aside and let you eviscerate your enemies. Well, except for maybe that one friend who's also willing to help you dispose of the body when you're done. In fact, good old Uncle Henley is just that kind of friend. And if you get me on the good side, I'll happily sit back and let you kill just about anybody or anything you so desire. Get my bad side though, and well, you'll see how sharp my own claws can be. Now, with that in mind, you should probably think about turning in for the night. Good old Uncle Henley feels the need to take a little walk in the woods, and you probably don't want to see what happens next. Until next time, kids.